A Brit and an American swap countries to try each other's KFC. This is Food Wars.
We're going to start with some things you can get in both the US and the UK to see if there are some subtle differences in taste or anything else. The first thing for me to try, the main event, the fried chicken. So there's just original recipe chicken. I've got what looks to be a thigh piece. Visually, I think it probably looks slightly more appealing than British fried chicken from KFC tends to look. The breading is like all over the place. There's no bare patches here. I always struggle to identify where the bones are in pieces of KFC. I don't want to just bite straight into a bone. Okay, yeah, this is good. Compared to the UK, I think I definitely am getting more flavor. I think a fair amount of that is coming from the breading. It's actual seasoning and flavor. It's like a thick, juicy piece of chicken. I don't want to go back to eating regular British KFC after this.
Right, this 6-piece bucket. This looks like it has more skin than what we got in the restaurant, I will say. So already this looks like it has a better batter to it. That is so bland. I can taste the flavors, and that's strong. And I'm assuming that's the chemicals we put in our food to make it taste like, wow!
The next thing we wanted to compare was popcorn chicken, which I think in the UK is a pretty iconic menu item, although weirdly enough, they've actually cut it from the menu in the US right now. The exception being that they will still add it to famous bowls, but we'll get to that later. So I guess for the time being, I will try a US chicken nugget and see how that compares. I mean, this just kind of looks like popcorn chicken. Definitely a bit more dry on the palate. Again, I don't see why they've got rid of popcorn chicken in lieu of these, because popcorn chicken is effectively the same thing.
It's like a shot. Oh, how's them? Well, I don't taste anything. So far, I would say that KFC chicken, both on the bone and popcorn, in the US, the flavor is more pronounced and has more of a savory flavor to it. This flavor has training wheels. It'll get there someday.
Firstly, there are some twists on the classic fried chicken, which we can't usually find. The first variety we have here is the spicy fried chicken. I mean, visually this looks fairly similar to just the sort of standard original recipe. Although I will say the breading looks pretty good. You get a lot of these little flakes of breading, which really tend to get crisp and stay crisp. I don't know if there's enough to call it spicy, because I'm not a guy who has a super high spice tolerance. And for me, that's warm, but not much more than that. It's very pleasant. And I do think it's crispier than the original recipe. Very juicy, flavorful. I think this is really good. I think I would be tempted to buy this over just classic original recipe. And it's not just spicy chicken that's available in the US. You can also get another type called extra crispy. As the name suggests, it's the regular fried chicken, but made extra crispy.
I think extra crispy should be the KFC chicken. Then the original should be diet.
For some reason, the branch that we went to today didn't have it in the form of regular original recipe chicken, but they did have it in the form of a chicken little. I'm just gonna break off the end bit that was untouched by the mayo to see if it is actually crispy or not. I don't think this is extra crispy. Even though they told us it was, maybe their crispinator was broken today or something. KFC US is very good at cooking chicken on the bone, less good when it comes to cooking chicken off the bone, because this is a little bit dry, a little bit chewy.
Moving on, the snack wrap. This one is the Flamin' Hot. Oh, wow. This got some heat to it. Okay, UK. Yeah, I like this. This is really good. Kansas barbecue, okay. The barbecue sauce is pretty good. I mean, this is definitely a sweeter sauce, which I think is indicative of Kansas City barbecue. Anyway, yeah, not bad. Sweet chili bites. Too sweet, not that spicy.
Now we're on to an item which I've been watching from across the pond with a mixture of horror and fascination. It's the KFC famous bowl. Instead of me trying to explain it, I feel like we should just get Joe in here. Joe, do you want to come and explain the famous bowl to me?
A little bit of everything is on the menu, just in bowl form, for anyone who just pretty much given up on life and doesn't care as long as they get in their stomach.
Thanks, Joe.
You're welcome.
It's looking more like an infamous bowl right now. It's not horrible. There's just a lot going on. There's a lot of flavors fighting with each other right now, vying for supremacy. The main thing I get, I think, is the corn, actually. I would have assumed that the mash and the chicken would have been kind of the stars of the show, but if anything, it's everything else in there that you can actually taste more. To me, it feels a little bit like you're eating baby food for adults. I was going to say I'm more excited to try the next bowl, but I don't know if excited is the word. Maybe less anxious to try the next bowl. This is the KFC mac and cheese bowl, but the kind of color on that is some cause for concern. So I think this actually works in harmony with the chicken much better than the famous bowl does. If I had to get a bowl, I think I would be leaning more towards the mac and cheese bowl than the famous bowl. Next up is the KFC pot pie. It's funny to see this on the menu at a KFC in the US because I feel like meat pies are generally associated with Britain more. We love a meat pie in the UK, steak pie, chicken pie, Greg's, pucker pies, all that good stuff. So with like a meat pie in the UK, what you'll often get is the pastry on the bottom as well. So it's like a self-contained pie. Whereas I think with a pot pie, you just have a layer of pastry on top and then filling underneath, and there's no bottom layer of crust. But let's find out. They haven't skimped on the carrot. I taste a lot of the carrot flavor. In the UK, for example, with a meat pie, you tend to get like a gravy that will kind of run out when you cut into it, but this is like staying on the spoon. It's not like running off the spoon. It's not great, but it's not bad either. It's like the sauce needs a little bit more seasoning. I think it's a little bit bland. A bit more salt and pepper would not go amiss there. I think with a few minor adjustments, they could make this really good, and I do think Brits would go for this.
This is super weird. Look at that. There's a hash brown in there. What does that do with like tower? That much? I like everything that this is made of. Together, I don't think it works. If I was to get this, I'd ask them to separate it across 3 containers and just eat the hash brown, then the chicken, finish it off with a slice of cheese. There you go. This would be close to like what our extra crispy is. This is supposed to be a spicy one. It's gonna zing me with spice. Not bad. It's not that I dislike anything I've had so far. It's that it's all 60 to 70% as far as flavor and intensity that I'm used to in the United States. You can also get yourself a Zinger Stacker and a Zinger Tower Burger. Yo, this is a thick one. Wow. I'm not gonna bite into this, but man, that's a lot. This would be right at home on the US menu. This would be like, yes, of course. It'd be like the double zinger, and everyone's like, yeah, of course it's double. Okay, vegan burger. It kind of looks like chicken. The mayo pretty much missed it, right? See how it came? So I got to kind of like activate the mayo. Twist your vegan sandwich before you eat it. Should I even ask what the mayo's made of? I mean, when you rip it apart, it's like one of those big erasers that you get when you're a kid. Like, I mean, I wouldn't just want to eat this in general. But as far as a fake meat, it's pretty close. And I don't know why, if you were vegan, you'd be like, finally, a chicken sandwich at KFC. No, you can eat this. There's no chicken meat in it. It's like, yeah, but you're still killing them by the millions. So there is a category in the menu of twisters, rice boxes, and salads. They had no rice boxes or salads. They did, however, have the twisters. But this is called a twister, not a wrap. What's twisted about it? Well, it's not twisted. It looks like they took a chicken breast and cut it in half. And this was like one long tender. I mean, it's also smaller. I bet they like wanted to like appeal to a more like male demographic. So don't get a wrap, get a twister. I'm a big man. I don't want a wrap. I want a twister. Yeah, it's twisted. Wraps are for the ladies, but dudes have twisters. I don't think that. They think that. KFC, shame on you.
Let's talk about some exclusive sides that you can't find in the UK. Firstly, if the mac and cheese bowl is too much mac and cheese for you, you can just get a little cup as a side. You can also get a side of corn. You guys just produce so much of it, you can't get rid of it fast enough.
I'm not trying corn. On the cob. Here in the UK, you guys have corn on the cob. Obviously, ours is corn off the cob. But this would be easier for driving or like eating on the go, right? Have you ever seen someone walking on the street just chewing on a cob on a stick? Is that a stick? You've never seen that? Keep your eyes peeled. I would like to get that trend going.
And of course, apparently it wouldn't be a US fast food menu without biscuits. This is an American biscuit. It looks a lot like a British scone, at least on the outside. However, generally I think it's a bit more like bready and maybe slightly drier than a scone. Texture check. It's confusing because with a British scone, they're generally like sweetened with sugar because they're eaten with things like jam and cream, and it's more of an afternoon tea / dessert type thing. Whereas these ones are supposed to be eaten with a savory meal, but actually smell kind of sweet. I think of the biscuits I've tried from fast food menus in the US so far, this is probably my favorite one, but it's somewhere between like a British scone and a bread roll.
Baked beans. Well, yeah, these are way more tomatoey, excuse me. The tomato sauce that it's in is like similar to like whatever SpaghettiOs come in. I will never be in the mood for that. Southern rice. What the hell? I don't know what they think Southern is. I'm surprised at how different it is. You'd think an international food chain would want it to be same everywhere, but playing to the UK tastes, I assume.
KFC in the US has a bunch of sauce options that we can't get in the UK, which means it's time for
Sauce Talk Foreign Exchange!
The theme seems to be that they have a lot of honey on the menu when it comes to their sauces at KFC in the US. The sauces on offer here are hot sauce, honey sauce, a honey barbecue sauce, KFC sauce, and yet more honey, a honey mustard. I usually like a honey mustard, but I do think you have to get the balance of honey and mustard right. Yeah, that's not bad. That's a pretty well-balanced honey mustard, I think. I'm intrigued by KFC sauce. I quite like it. I really can't put my finger on exactly what's in it right now. Next up, we've got the honey barbecue. Oh, extremely sweet, both on the honey side and even on the kind of barbecue side. Let's have a look at the honey sauce. It's fine. It does taste pretty much just like honey. And then finally, they have a hot sauce. Yeah, that's pretty comparable to like a Frank's Red Hot.
Barbecue. Okay, Kentucky smoked barbecue. Actually, this is on point. Sticky sweet chili sauce. Why is it sticky? Yeah. Oh, that's good. All right, garlic buttermilk mayo. I like all three of those things separately. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Now let's look at some exclusive drinks served in these delightful Diablo branded cups. You guys love a advertisement tie-in, don't you? So I believe this one is Starry, Joe's beloved Sierra Mist, unfortunately cold recently and replaced by Starry. Let's give it a try. It's more what I'm used to, I guess, from like a UK version of a lemonade style drink. And of course, we have a US style lemonade. It's pretty good. Again, to me, it's slightly weird what Americans consider lemonade, considering coming from the UK, lemonade is basically Sprite. It's like a clear, carbonated lemony beverage. It's pretty good. It's probably like slightly more refreshing and hydrating than a Sprite is in the UK. There are a couple of other exclusive drinks which we can normally get, but unfortunately our local branch did not have. Devastatingly, because I really wanted to try the Mountain Dew Sweet Lightning and regular American Mountain Dew.
When we ordered the bottles of drinks, didn't we think it was just going to be like a personal one? I don't know, the Tango, Orange, ugh, 7-Up Free, Pepsi Max Cherry. Crush'ems. UK, of course, has exclusive Crush'em drinks in front of me. I said, give me one of each, and they did. Milky Bar. Aero. Is that normal?
It kind of was advertised as a healthy chocolate.
Because it's got more air in it.
Because there's more air in it.
We're still charging the same, but it's just as you get less in there, so okay. Less calories by default because it's filled with air. I might be the last person to point this out, but like they took the candy bar and they crushed it, and that's why it's Crush'ems. Okay. Oreo one, I mean, come on. That's really good. I would definitely get this. Dessert, exclusive desserts, you get a white chocolate chip cookie. You could also get a pineapple stick, but they didn't have any at the location we went to. Also, I don't know what a pineapple stick is. What is that dessert?
I think if I could pick one item from this menu to take back with me to the UK and put on our menu over there, I think it would probably be the spicy chicken. I just like how it was slightly more crispy than the regular chicken and just added a bit more flavor. The level of heat was really good. Yeah, I think that would come back with me. If I could remove one thing from the US and all other menus from KFC, I think it would be the famous bowl. I'm sorry guys, I don't want to start some kind of revolutionary war again, but I just feel like it's not very good because those ingredients don't really go together. Texturally, it's a bit of a nightmare. And honestly, there's just way better things you can do with the stuff on the menu.
I was really impressed with the Flamin' Hot wrap. I might have dogged that a little bit earlier because it's so smaller, but that spicy sauce you guys have is actually pretty good. Honorable mention, the vegan burger. Obviously, I'm not vegan, but I guess I was surprised by how kind of decent it was. It's not my favorite, but I mean, points for it being edible. Way to go. I will do everyone a favor, and I will say, I'm not cutting a menu item. Let's get that potato off of your sandwiches. They just don't work together, period.